In this tutorial, what we're actually going to go through is I'm going to show you how to set up your first blog step by step. So we're going to go through and purchase the domain. We're going to go ahead and get hosting, and we're going to set everything up and customize it so that way it looks really good. So that way out of the gate you have a professional setup. So when people come to your website, they take you seriously. Secondly, we're going to go through how to start building a loyal following. So this is one of those things that a lot of people don't cover, I don't see, but before you actually really get into blogging your heart out, you really need to research your audience. You need to figure out the topics that they're having trouble with and the kind of information they're seeking out. And you want to really put effort into creating the content that's going to help people resonate with you. They're going to want to come back and read your blog on an often basis, and they're going to want more information that you have to tell. And finally, we're going to go over how to monetize your blog. So it makes it a lot more fun creating blog posts and creating content for your audience when you're actually making money for that. And you don't have to do that in a hypey way, or you don't even have to pursue if you don't even want to be in the internet marketing niche. There's plenty of other things out there like quilting, several different hobbies that people have. But whatever niche that you want to go after, I'm going to show you how to actually go out there and do the research so that way you get the content in front of people that they want, and then you can follow up by actually making money from your passion. So in the next video, we're going to actually go through and we're going to get set up and actually go through how to do everything. Alright guys, now we're getting ready to continue our next tutorial. And if you hear any background noise, that's because I'm in the Philippines and you might hear lots of noises like a rooster crowing. But now let's go ahead and continue on. So basically the first step to our process of getting our website online is getting a web host. Now a web host is basically where all your files are stored. It's where you upload your website, it's where you upload your images, and that's how everything shows up online. Now, I've used tons of web hosts across the board. Literally, I've pretty much bought every one in the business. I have tons of affiliate websites. I have an outsourcing center in the Philippines where I build lots of websites for clients. And, Bluehost has been the most reliable one for me. Now, the one reason I'm recommending it to you is because you want a web host that you can grow with. So as you're building your website, as you're building your brand, you get more and more traffic, you're going to need to get a web hosting package that can handle the traffic. The great thing with Bluehost is, when you get to that point, you can just simply upgrade to handle the traffic. By that point, you should easily be making the money that it's a very, very small investment, and you're still way in profit. Now, what you're going to want to do is click the link below the video, and it's going to bring you to this page, and then you go ahead and go to the Sign Up Now page. Now, it's going to cost around $4.95 a month, and you do not need one of the advanced packages. The simple $4.95 a month package will be all you need. And then what you're going to do is go ahead and enter a domain name. Now, the one great thing about Bluehost is that, compared to another web host provider, you're going to actually need to buy a name or a domain name at a separate place like GoDaddy or Namecheap. Compared to with Bluehost, you're actually going to get a free domain name when you sign up. So I'm just going to come up with a random name. I'm not sure if this will be available, so let's go ahead and type in psychoblog, since mine is psychologicalunemployable.net, and hit next and see if that's available. And what it's going to do is going to bring up and let you know if it's available or not. So basically it's saying that it's not. So I'm just going to go ahead and select this one right here, the psychoblog.com for an example. And we'll just go ahead and pick that domain name. So you may have to type in a few different ideas depending on, what you want for your domain name. Maybe it's available, maybe it's not. Just type in a few different ones till you find one that works. And then you're going to go ahead and fill out all your information here. And then what you're going to do is pick the account plan you want. So the longer that you sign up for, the different packages and the cheaper it becomes. So you can get bigger plans, which cost more. I would just suggest to start out with one of these smaller plans in the beginning. $4.95 to $6.95 a month. This is going to be all you're going to need. You don't need anything very big when you're first starting out. It's always better to start small and then upgrade as you go. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the site lock domain security. You don't need this. You don't need Site Backup Pro. You can get it if you want. Basically, this is basically where they're going to have an extra service for backing up the site. And you don't need the search engine jumpstart. And the domain whois privacy, this is completely up to you. I personally don't use this on my own personal domain, but what this does, and it's only $10 a year, so it's not bad, is if you don't want your personal information out there, so if somebody wants to look up, for instance, psychologicalunemployable.net, they can get my personal address, my name, and everything that's registered to. So if that's something that you don't want to show up on the internet, then you're going to want to go ahead and purchase that. It's only $10 a year, so it's not very expensive. So just go ahead and pick which package is good for you, fill out your information, and sign up. And then once you sign up, you're going to get login information delivered to your email. And then go ahead and log into the back end of Bluehost. And that's going to look something like this. So when you come to Bluehost, you're going to come to this screen, and you have all these different options. Now, the one thing I'm going to tell you right now is don't really pay attention to all this stuff, because it's not stuff that you really need to know at all. A lot of people get overwhelmed when they log into the back end, and there's no point in it because you won't be using this stuff if you're not much of a techie like me. So the next thing is to go ahead and click the website, and here's where you're actually going to install WordPress. WordPress is the platform that we're going to use to blog on. Now this is a very, very simple step. It's not complicated. And all you're going to do is go ahead and when you're on the screen, click WordPress and use WordPress. And then once you get to this screen, you're simply just going to select the domain, since you probably only have one in the back end. You just go ahead and select the one that you have, and you're just going to hit the button to install WordPress. Just give it a minute while it loads. And from here, what you're going to do is go ahead and scroll down and install WordPress. Now, at this point, once you're at this screen, you're just going to select your domain name and then check domain. And what's going to happen is if you already, for yours, it's just going to hit check domain. I'll show you how it works real quick. And since this one is already taken, we already have an install on here. But you would just go ahead, and if it's not, you go ahead and click, go forward. And then at this point, you're just going to go ahead and install now. Once you install, it's going to give you the link to actually go to your website or log into the back end. Now, as you're going to see right now, this is what your basic website is going to look like when you install. It's just a blank install of WordPress. And what you want to do from here is actually log into the back end of your dashboard, so that way you can edit everything. Now, how you're going to get to that, you should have had a link after you installed Bluehost, and it would let you go straight to the login screen. But if you're at this point or any time in the future that you just want to log into your site, a simple way is to go to the end of the URL and /WP admin. And this is going to take you to the login screen, and then you just need to place your username and then your password, and then log into the back end. And then once you come into the back end, it's going to look something like this. It's very simple. Once you're in the back end, you have posts, you have media, you have pages, appearance, plugins, users, tools, and settings. And we're going to go through this in just a minute, and we're going to go ahead and set up a few things in the back end to get your site up online. Alright guys, so in this step, we want to go ahead and add a custom theme. Now, you can do the free themes, and I'm going to show you real quick before we actually add a custom theme. But the free themes are kind of limited, and the one thing you want to kind of know is that a lot of these free themes, the code is not that great. So what I mean by that is a lot of these people that design the free themes, the only reason they're using them, they have links in the footer. Basically, it's for SEO purposes or search engine optimization purposes. And a lot of times the code is not that great. They don't update the themes. If I was going to use a free theme, I would use the stock ones by WordPress. Now, where you actually go to change the theme is appearance and then themes. Now, you have a few different themes to choose from by default, and these are all the default WordPress ones. There's a 2013, which is the one we're on now. There's a 2014, which is a little bit fancier, so it's a decent looking theme, and you can do some different stuff with it. And then there's a 2012. So if it was me, and I was going to use a free theme, I'd use one of these until I had the money. So if you're just starting out with your blog, you don't have much money to invest, I would suggest is to start out with one of these free ones. However, to get a premium theme that is by a really good coder, they give you updates, they constantly make sure the theme is up to date. The only two that I trust are Genesis, which is made by StudioPress, and then Thesis, which is made by DIY Themes. Now, these are the only two themes I've used consistently over the last 4 years, 5 years, however long I've been in this business. And, I've used them on my client websites that I build for my outsourcing center. I use them on my own personal blog. So Psychological Unemployable is currently on Genesis. It used to run on Thesis. And most of my affiliate sites are run on Thesis. And the reason I use these two, One, they're very highly customizable and very user-friendly. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to use them. And two, they constantly update them. They're constantly improving them. And they're the two most popular WordPress themes out there that people use. So that's why I stick to those. I don't like getting a lot of the cheaper WordPress themes that are like $20 because a lot of times the people selling these, you get what you pay for. If they don't update them and then WordPress comes out with an update like they usually do, your theme won't work right if you update WordPress, and you want to keep updating WordPress because of for updates for security and stuff like that. So if you're going to get a premium theme, I suggest Genesis or Thesis. So to go ahead and add a premium theme, but first if you actually wanted to install free themes, let's see here. You can actually go to add new theme. We'll do this real quick before I actually do the premium. And then when you go to add new theme, as you can see right here, you can just select some different stuff. So if you wanted 2 columns, you want a custom menu, you want a full width template, you just check what you want and then find themes. And basically what it's going to do, it's going to go out there and pull from the database from all the different free themes, and you can scroll through here and choose them. Like I said, some of these developers don't put much thought process into creating these. And I personally, I wouldn't use them just because of the fact that, you don't know that you can trust them or not. It's completely your choice. I would say to invest in a premium theme. Now, what you want to do, if we go back to this theme screen, and we want to add a new theme, it would be the same process. So if we're going to add a premium theme, we'd hit add new, and it's going to take us back to this screen, and then we'd simply hit upload. And on the upload screen, you're just going to go ahead and choose file. And basically, when you buy a premium theme, it's going to give you a download or a zip file, and then all you need to do is find that zip file that you downloaded, and it'll be on your hard drive, and go ahead and choose file, and then go ahead and navigate to where that's at. Now, with Genesis, you have 2 different things. You actually have the Genesis actual format. Genesis works on what's called child themes, so you got to upload the Genesis framework first. And then once that uploads, you're going to have a premium theme that you would have got. So usually you get some kind of theme that has a special design. Thesis, if you go with Thesis, doesn't have the same setup. You just upload one file and you're good to go. Genesis has the framework, which is the basic setup of Genesis. But I always like to get the custom themes and stuff, so it's not much more. So now what I would do is I've activated Genesis, and if we actually go to the site and look at it, you're going to see the difference. This is the basic Genesis, and you'll notice that the great thing about Genesis is it's mobile responsive. So, when you scroll down like that, it fits to different browsers. It fits iPads. It fits iPhones, Androids. But now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and add the custom theme that we got. So we go add new, and then upload. And then we want to find the theme that we purchased. So when you go to StudioPress and you actually purchase Genesis, you have the choice to choose several different themes. And you just want to scroll down and find the one. The one I use is 1140, and install now. And then once you install this is just going to add the custom theme, or basically the different design. And this is the same theme, so if you want to have one similar to Psychologically Unemployable, my site, this is the exact format I'm using. I'm using Genesis Framework, and then I'm using the 1140 theme. Now, once we go ahead and activate this, and make sure, I've seen people make this mistake before, where they actually don't activate the theme. So if you've seen when I went ahead and installed it, I hit activate, and then that makes it go live. So now if we go refresh the theme, you're going to see now that it's changed a bit. Now, don't get too worked up. This is just the basic setup. We're going to go through and customize it a bit, make it look nice, and then we'll go through the steps. But as you can see right here, it's mobile responsive. So if you scroll down, whether this is an iPad, an iPhone, Android, it's going to fit the browser. So now you have a site that will show up on people's phones, smartphones. So whether you're building this for yourself, you're building it for a client, you have a theme that's going to fit all the way around. Alright, and the next step, we're actually going to go ahead and customize this and make it look a little bit better. Alright guys, so for the next step of this tutorial, we actually want to make the blog look a little bit better. Now, one thing I'm going to suggest, no matter what niche you're in, I'm going to assume a lot of you follow me are probably in the internet marketing or network marketing niche. You're definitely going to want to put a heavy focus on actually building your email list. Now, one thing you need to understand is that no matter what niche you're in, when your customers come to your blog or the readers come to your blog, if they decide that they're just not interested, or even if they are interested and they like your content, a lot of times people will leave your blog, and if they don't bookmark it, if they don't save it somewhere in like Feedly or RSS feed, they're never going to come back. They'll forget about you. They'll be on to somebody else. And that's why you want to put a heavy focus onto building your list or getting people onto your email newsletter. Now, I'm going to show you how my blog is set up, and you're going to notice, you can see the similarities of how the blog is. That it's the same thing. The only difference is it's got a custom design, which you can have done later on if you have the money to invest. But you're going to notice I have like a custom form. And the one thing I'm going to tell you is I build most of my list with a autoresponder called Pure Leverage. I also use Aweber. I'm going to use Aweber in this tutorial just for simplicity, to just put a opt-in form on the side to show you. But Pure Leverage is a much cheaper autoresponder to build, as well as if you actually want to promote it as an affiliate to your list, it's got better affiliate commissions that go along with it as well. And you get some other cool tools besides for the $25 a month. But for the most part now, I'm building my list on Pure Leverage. One being because Aweber is kind of known for canning people's email list if you get too many spam complaints, which it doesn't matter what niche you're in. Sometimes people just have a bad day and hit the spam button, or they forget that they even got on your email list and they hit the spam button. Too many of those can get your list deleted. And in this kind of industry, your email list is everything. So, me personally, I build my list mainly on Pure Leverage, and Aweber is just for like certain programs and stuff like squeeze page builders and stuff. If for some reason it doesn't accept Pure Leverage, which there's very, very few out there, I have Aweber. The main reason I keep Aweber is because I've been using it for years, and now I'm just converting over to Pure Leverage. Now, with that being said, I'm going to suggest, which you can have this done just about anywhere. You can go have you a custom opt-in form made for about $5 on Fiverr.com, and then go ahead and hook up whichever autoresponder you have. I don't really prefer using the free opt-in forms like we're getting ready to build. So, if you want your site to look a little bit more professional, it goes a long way to have a custom opt-in form made. But as you can see on my sidebar, I have an opt-in form right here, and then if you scroll down, let me go ahead and show you here. In my post, like that, I have custom opt-in forms at the bottom of all my posts. All I had these done, I have my own designers, but you can go to Fiverr and have one done really simple. Then you just put the code in and it'll show up. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and now we're going to just build a simple opt-in form to go in this sidebar right here. And as Pure Leverage is my main autoresponder, but I'll link to both of these below the video. But we're going to go ahead and set it up in Aweber just because it's really simple to set up real quick. And for demonstration purposes, I want to keep the video time down. So let's just make a simple headline like subscribe to my email list to get my bootcamp training. And then you can go ahead and hit save. And then you can customize all the different features. You can customize colors, so we can make it. We'll make it black because our site has a black background. You can customize these colors down here. You can cut off different parts that you don't want, and then you just go ahead and save your form. And then you would go to the next step. And then on the next step, you'd simply just specify a custom thank you page. You can use the free page that Aweber provides, but I always like to provide my own. So just put this one right here. This is the one I usually use. And that will redirect to whatever page I decide I want them to go to, and save your form. And then the next step is after you save the form, we want to go ahead and grab the custom code. So that would be go to step 3, and then install my form. And then once you're on install my form, you want the raw HTML version. Select all and copy. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and go to the back end of our website, and we want to go ahead and go to widgets. And then on widgets, we're going to go ahead and go to primary sidebar. Now, I want to let you know that depending on what theme you have, some of these are set up different. Some of them have, footers like this one does. You can put stuff in the footer. Some of them don't. Some of them have just a few sidebar things. Everything will be different, but it's very, very simple. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and use primary sidebar. And then you want to grab a text widget. Go ahead and scroll up and drop that text widget in there, and then copy or right click and paste and save. And then go ahead and close, and then if we refresh the site, you're now going to see the opt-in form on the sidebar. Now obviously if you want to adjust the size and stuff like that, you can always go back to design, and then this is really easy. You can just drag the size, you see, bigger, smaller. So you may have to play with that just a bit just to get it right, but I'm just showing you how quick that you can customize your site and get it looking pretty good. So we got the sidebar on the side, but maybe we want to add a little bit more of a custom feature, and we want to let people know who we are. So what we could do with Genesis, they have a user profile box. So what we would do is we go ahead and grab this Genesis user profile, and let's drag it right under here under the text box for the opt-in form, and we'll put our name. And then the one thing I wanted to show you, so that way this step shows up. You notice these have different profiles here, and you can set your profiles under users. You just go in there and add a new user. But what you want to do is when you set up your WordPress profile with your email, you want to go over to gravatar.com and set up a free profile right here. You upload your picture, you fill out the information, and basically what this is going to do is when you comment on your blog, the little pictures and stuff you see show up. I'll go ahead and show you an example. So if we look right here on my blog, when people comment, some of the people have pictures, some don't. You notice like right here when I comment, my picture shows up, and that's what Gravatar does. It recognizes your email address and automatically it shows up. So what you want to do is you want to go set your profile up, and that way when you go ahead and you put your name right here and it selects your name, your picture is going to show up. So on the Gravatar size, we're going to go ahead and make that large, so it's 125 pixels. We'll keep the alignment to the left, and then go ahead and custom text box. So here you can write a description like, my name is Zach Crawford. I teach SEO, Facebook marketing, and how to build your brand. And then go ahead and save. And we'll go ahead and check it out. And now we have a user box, and what we probably want to do is put that above so it looks a little bit better. And what you want to know is you guys are probably going to want to play around with this a bit. I'm just going through to show you what's possible and how quick you can build a decent looking site. And you can go ahead and resize, get the picture just right, the text you want. You may have to play with it just a bit to get it just right the way you like it. But go ahead and just adjust it. So obviously this is up here and it has our name. We'd want to adjust this form again and make it so that way it aligns and everything. But now we have a site that looks pretty good. Now the one thing we're probably going to want to get is the social icons. So what we would want to do is go ahead and go back to plugins and add new. Then we'll go ahead and install DigDig. DigDig is a pretty popular social sidebar. So you just find the first one, DigDig. It's by Buffer, and install now. And why we want to do this is because you want to put a lot of emphasis on getting people to share your content. As you create different content for people, you want to get them to share in it. So after we have that installed, go ahead and go to DigDig. And now we want to go ahead and select the different stuff that we want. So obviously you're going to need to go through here and put your information in so that way everything is correct. Put your Twitter name, put all the information that it needs, and save changes. And we'll go ahead and see if that shows up. And as you're going to see, now we have our social bar on the side. So when we actually make blog posts, now this social bar will show on the side. And as you scroll down, now you can specify so that way it scrolls with the page. You can make it so that way it's closer to the left. You can move it so it's closer down to the middle of the page and it stays there. Just play with the settings and get it just how you like. Now, as you're going to see, it's very, very simple. The more customization you want, you're just going to want to go to plugins and find different plugins for the stuff you want. How I actually did it I would go to people's websites and see what they were using, and I would just figure out what kind of plugins they were using. Like if they were using a social share bar, I would just go do a search, find what I need, and I would start customizing my site. Now, in the next step, we're going to actually go ahead and I'm going to show you how to use post and pages, and that's the final step just so you can figure out how to actually start using your blog. Alright guys, so in these final steps, we want to go ahead and learn how to do post and pages, so that way you can start getting some content on your blog. Now, of course, when you get done with all this tutorial, I'm going to suggest that you go through and just start playing around with WordPress, learning how to tweak your blog, make some customizations. But pretty much any type of playing around with it, any person can figure out how to use it. Now, let's go ahead and log in the back end. And in order to do post and pages, I want to show you that right here is post, and then right here is pages. And it's the same process. If you wanted to add new, you just go to post, add new. And before we continue to this step, I want to make the clarification of what post and pages are. So right now we're on the home page of our site, and when we create a new post, what's going to happen is this one goes down and the new post replaces it. And pages are actually static. They don't actually move, they stay in one place, and usually your pages are going to be linked up here below the logo in your navigation, and then sometimes people like to link to them on the side to specific pages that they want to guide their users to. So with that being said, let's go ahead and log back in here on this post, and let's call this test post 1. And I've prepared some dummy text just for this tutorial. So let me go ahead and copy that in. But I want to show you first, when you log into this back end, sometimes it's going to look like this. You're going to see the menu and it doesn't have all the customization options, and you just want to click that so that way all the editor is here. The next thing you want to notice is you have visual and text. Make sure you stay in visual when you're just learning, because if you don't know any type of HTML or anything like that, which is the code, then you're going to have no business actually even playing with this part, because you're not going to know what you're doing, and the code is going to look a bit weird to you. So go ahead and write out your post, and you can write it out in Notepad and copy and paste it in here, or you can write it out in Editor. Now I'm just going to show you that, say for some reason like we put this post and we want to space stuff out, just hit enter to space, and come down here and let's space this one right here, and just get it so that way it looks good the way you like it. Now, the one thing I want to let you know is to never go ahead and just publish the post before actually checking it out. I always like to save draft and then preview it just to make sure I like it before I post it. So then right click on preview, open link in new tab, and then you can see right here how the text is. So obviously you probably want to space this out a little bit more just to make sure everything's styled the way you want. And then also, if you wanted to add an image, you add an image, you could just click right here and then add media, and then just find the image on your computer that you want to use, and then insert into post. As you can see, now the image is there, save draft, and then we would just go preview it again to see if we like where it's at. And as you see, it wraps around the text. And now we would go ahead and just publish once you like the post. And as we refresh the front page, you're going to see now our new post shows up. And that would be your first post. And then as I said, the old post gets pushed to the bottom. Now let's go ahead and create pages and navigation. Alright, so now we are going to add pages, and then we're going to go ahead and set up our navigation. So that way we can direct people to the pages we want. Now to go ahead and speed up this tutorial, I've already went ahead and created some dummy posts for pages. So if you wanted to create new pages, it would be the same exact process, as adding posts. So what you do is you go ahead and set up your content, create your Contact Us page or About Me page, any other pages you want to link up in the navigation. Once you went ahead and done that, what you want to do is go to Appearance and then Menus. Now once you come to menus, you're going to need to set up a menu by default. So you can call it whatever you want, just name it. I usually name it Home and then Create Menu. And then from here, what you want to do is go on here on the sidebar and select all the pages you want to show up in your navigation, and then check those, and then add to menu. Now the final step is to go ahead and go to right here where it says links, and you want to create a home button, so that way when people click the home button, it takes them back to the main page. So what you want to do is go ahead and go to your main site, and then copy the link, and then go back to the link text, and actually link that URL there, and then add to menu. And And this will make it so that way when people actually click the home button, it takes them back from anywhere on the site. And then also, so if you want to make the different navigation, move them around, all you need to do is click and hold and drag those around to however you want in order. And then finally, click primary navigation menu and save menu. And at this point, your site is now going to be pretty much complete. You're going to see now we refresh, we got our menus to take us to the different pages. If we go to this Contact Us page, there's nothing here, but if there was content, then we could go and click Home, and it'll take us back to the main page. Now, finally, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to see the full tutorial on how to actually monetize your blog, how to do market research so that way you can find the content that people are looking for, then go ahead and click the link in the description to read the full post and go over the full tutorial. Alright guys, thanks, and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel.